Hello everyone, my name is Protesilos, also known as Prot. The other day I was reading the Emacs manual and I came across a chapter that documented certain methods for accumulating text. I read through the chapter, I thought to myself that this could be quite useful indeed, but I never had any real application in mind, other than some contrived example. Earlier today, I was working on refining my accessible themes for Emacs, and I came across a scenario where I thought to myself that a specific function to accumulate text, specifically append-to-buffer, could be used in combination with a macro to speed up things. So what I want to do here is I want to show you exactly the workflow that I implemented and helped me do things exactly using the accumulating the things I learned in this accumulating text chapter. So what I want to do is I want to switch to my Emacs window over here, and the first thing I want to do is open a buffer with a shell in it. Actually, let's toggle screen key first so that you can see what I'm doing. It's kind of important. Okay. Just for the purpose of this demo, I just want to disable rainbow mode. It's the tool that produces the colors out of these things over here. Rainbow mode. What happened? I mistyped a few things. Rainbow mode. I'm writing rainbow. Oh, come on. Rainbow mode. Okay, sorry about that. Okay. So, what I want to do, before I start with the macro, let's switch to the buffer over here and show you a bit what I want to do. I want to run a shell script, and this is a shell script that I wrote a while ago, and it implements a formula that compares the perceived luminance between two colors. So basically what I want to do is check if the colors that I am using are accessible. They must pass a certain number. They must be above a certain number, a certain ratio of contrast. So, not to bother you too much with the technicality. So, I want to compare all the colors that I want to accumulate with this one here. So, F3, F1, F3 is the benchmark. And let me, for the purposes of for didactic purposes, take this one here over there. So, I want A8, 0, 0, 0, 0. So it is giving me a number, and this number needs to be 7 to 1 or greater for it to pass the test that I have here. So I want to run this test, as I did here, for a bunch of colors in this region. So I don't want to do this manually. It's a rather tedious process and prone to error. I want to do this as much as I can using macros and things like that. So let's do it right away so that you see, not to explain the whole thing. So I select the region, and the first thing I want to do is I want to narrow the buffer to this region. So now I am safe in the knowledge that everything I do will remain confined to this narrowed area over here. Very well. So now I want to start recording a macro. And what I want to do is move to the first color. All the colors, as you can see from the lazy highlight over there, start with the, what's it called, the column sign. So now that I am here, I want to confirm my search. And now I want to select the thing. And I want to run append-to-buffer. Okay, and it is asking me for a buffer. I want to append it to the shell buffer. It's the prompt, the command line prompt I have over there. Please do that. You see, it moved the color from here, it moved it over there. Now that I did that, I want to just exit this, and I want to move here, and I want to add a space. You will see right away. And now I want to conclude the macro over here. Let me run it once and see what happens. Okay, because I am recording, it's much slower than it should be. It did exactly what I expected. Let's run it again. And again, it works just fine. Let me run it till the end of the buffer. This might take a while because I am recording, my hardware is underpowered, the temperature has increased over the last few days as well, so everything is working against our demo over here. So yeah, it works, but it will take a while because of the reasons that I just mentioned. Come on. Okay, when I do this without recording, it is considerably faster. But doing a screencast, it's quite a resource-intensive task, especially on my kind of hardware. So anyhow, I have produced the colors here. So this is exactly what I wanted to do. Take the colors from over there, bring them to my shell prompt, to, let's say, the terminal. Technically, it's not the terminal, but let's say that I brought them to my terminal. And now what I want to do is I want to run a standard loop, the kind of loop you found in the shell. So for I in the array of all those colors over here, this is what we call a one-liner, do, and I want it to do the command that I did before, the function, the thing I have over here. So color, F3, F1, F3, it's the color, the benchmark, and then the I, so each of the colors in the loop, each of the items in the loop. Done. So let's run this. And it will produce a bunch of numbers for each color. It will run the test. So basically I'm doing this just to get an overview of whether the colors that I have selected thus far pass the 7-to-1 threshold that I have established. This is, by the way, the highest accessibility standard when it comes to the contrast between colors. So as I can see, everything is above 7, equal or higher than 7-to-1. And this is great. I just confirmed that this specific part of my palette is thoroughly accessible. It is exactly what I am striving to achieve. And of course, now I can do the same with my dark theme as well, and continue working this way. Not to bother you too much with this, the idea is to have a sense of how you can combine the functions for accumulating text with a macro, with window switching, as I did, as I moved from one window to the other, and all this within Emacs. Quite fantastic, may I say. Whereas doing that from Emacs to a third application, like Xterm or whatever, would be quite a cumbersome process. So that's all for now, folks. Thank you very much for your attention, and apologies for the noticeable delay that the macro had over there. That's due to my hardware and the conditions I am recording this in. Sorry about that. Thank you very much for your attention. Goodbye, folks.